Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is yet another book review. I have recently, as in yesterday, finished reading a really nice book. But before starting this video, I absolutely wanted to take a moment just to reflect on what happened in Morocco lately with the train that deviated from the rails and killed so many people and left so many people injured. Now, it has nothing to do obviously with this YouTube channel, but it has a lot to do with me as a human being. I got very affected by this news for some reason. Like, I can't sleep, I can't eat normally, I'm very down, I barely can, go to class and read. So I just wanted to, take a little moment to talk about it and put it out there for you guys, and just tell you to take some minutes to reflect back on what happened and to have a little prayer for the souls of these young people and old people that left us, and to have a little prayer also for the people that are still fighting for their lives. Yeah, it means a lot to me, so I just wanted to put this out there. Of course, I won't say it, but I will say it. It's just, take good care of yourself and make sure you say that I love you to the people you love. Answer your parents' call your grandparents, and just be kind and nice to people around you, and just take time to work on yourself to be a better person. Okay, so now we can move on to the book, because I think that in times like this, me personally, books help me a lot to get through hardships and difficulties, and just like, a lower state of, mental state. And that book actually was really a very intense read. It's not like something easy or something light, but it's like very, very intense and really, really a very reflective and thought-provoking book. Okay, I've been rambling for so much. This book is All the Lights We Cannot See by Anthonny Doerr, winner of the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. Let's just start this video by saying the following. If you are now looking for a book to read, if you would come up to me and ask me on Instagram, for example, as many of you do, okay, I want to read an English book, can you recommend something to me? So this is me answering you and saying that this is what you should read next, this is what your next read should be. Independently and regardless if you are like interested in fiction or historical fiction or history in general, I think everyone would love this book, and everyone should give this book a try, because I'm sure that everyone is going to love it somehow. Now, that's the first part. We can actually now move to the actual review part. Okay, first of all, it's important to give a setting and an overall background for the story. Now, this is again another historical fiction set during World War II. Once again, I'm gonna say it, I really love this part of history, it's my favorite. And so this is told from the perspective of two main characters. At some point we'll have the perspective of other characters, but it's mainly from the perspective of these two characters. The first person is Marie-Laure. She's a French blind girl who lives alone with her father in Paris, and her father works at the Museum of Natural History. So this is at the beginning of the book, and then of course the Germans take Paris under siege, and then they have to leave, and with her father they fled to Saint-Malo, which is on the coast of Brittany in France. On the other side, and on the other perspective, we have Werner Pfenner. He's a German boy, an orphan German boy who grew up in an orphanage, a children's house, and he's a very smart kid. He grew up with his sister Yuta as well, in this house with many children, and he's a very smart kid, and like, he asks a lot of questions, he's curious, he loves physics, and he learned very early on that he's really interested in mechanics, he's really good with radios, with repairing things, and he will be sent to this school, this national political school, where German elites go there and where they form these future Nazis, whatever. So this is the main setting. Now, as Marie-Laure is in Saint-Malo, the Germans are also going to take the Saint-Malo under siege, and this is how the story is told. Now, said like this, it just sounds like another, you know, war story, and it is, but at the end of the day, as much as the story is beautiful, what totally sold me with this book is the writing. It's genius. The way he plays with the character's perspective and the way he folds and unfolds the story through character development is amazing. It's beautiful. First of all, it deals a lot with topics of, again, right and wrong. What's right and what's wrong. And who actually teaches us what's right and what's wrong. And how our perception of bad, evil and good can change depending on who teaches this. It deals with topic also of innocence. How we can play with innocence and make it believe in things that are just not okay. And at the same time, it tackles this topic of how sometimes we act and we do take some actions because we're supposed to, because we're afraid, because we're under the influence of other humans, because we have no choice, even though there is this little voice behind the back of our mind, the voice of the heart, if we want, that says that this is not the human thing to do, this is not the right, even though again right is very, very relative, but it is not human, it is not what I am supposed to do. I do believe and know that I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'm still doing it because I'm afraid. So it deals with these topics beautifully portrayed. It's really funny, but I read articles and there was a lot of research that has been done by the author. This book took a long time to be completed because he did an amazing job of research. This is why I love historical fiction, because usually the authors really do and performed a great work of research, because before writing about, you know, the German siege in Brittany, you have to actually have your fact right and straight, because, you know, you're talking about history, so you can't just make up facts. So he did a beautiful job at that. You can learn a lot about this geopolitic region during World War II. I have never actually read something about the German siege in the Brittany coast, but when I say Brittany, I don't mean Britain, because some people would mix this. I mean Bretagne, which is a region in France. Now, from the side of Marie-Laure, she's blind, and it deals a lot with topics of fate and sixth sense, and how our senses can actually be a trap. Our senses, meaning sight, you know, ability to hear, ability to smell, these things are actually tricky to ourselves because they do not convey the truth. There is other parts of us that convey the truth. And there is the topic of light that keeps coming back throughout the entire story. I do not want to spoil it, obviously, but the girl is blind, but she can see so many things that we cannot see. The topic of light comes back with this program, or like this radio program that Werner would be listening to with his sister, where they talk about the physical matter, the formation of sound, about photons, and the light comes this way. And it comes in both figurative and literal meaning. So light is tackled a lot through different ways and through different mediums, obviously, and it's beautiful. The fact that it's told from this different perspective make the chapters or the little segment of writing really short, and there's a beautiful thing going on with this writing is that it deals so well with the simultaneity of moments, and he knows how how interesting playing with moments can be. So he would be talking about what's happening in the Russian front with the Germans, and he would be like, at the same time, in this little village in France, this is happening, and like, he would link these human experiences, and it was just making up for a great perspective recipe. And what I really loved about this book is that it is thought-provoking. I know it happened with me again with the book that was called The Light Between Ocean, and I feel that all the books that have anything to do with light are interesting in the way where this ethics dilemma about what's right and what's wrong keeps coming back. The writing is very engaging, meaning that when you read this book, you really feel that you are very much involved as a reader. You're not a third part, there's just like reading from far, but you can feel that the author tries to trick you sometimes when you're reading, and then you are facing some sort of situation and you're like, okay, wait, is this character doing the right thing, or is she doing the right thing, or that? But then you know the answer, obviously. So you're engaged in that way, you're completely engaged with the writing, it wraps you up completely, and it's like a gigantic blanket of words. This is how I will describe this book. Like, you're in the middle and then it wraps you around like a big blanket, and you don't read the words, you feel them like around your body, like wrapping you. That's how I would say it. And it's beautiful English, it's beautiful language. The title is perfect for the book. Like, I was reading and then I was like, oh, the light we cannot see. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that also, we think that if we do good by people or in this world, we're going to be rewarded. I mean, we think, some people think that we're going to be rewarded somehow in this world, now depending on your beliefs, obviously, but it just shows you how even if you're a really good person, you can still, face some unfair outcomes, if you want to call it this way. But it's a nice human experiment. Yeah, it's like, a human experiment. And it's a beautiful work of research, and it's a beautiful novel of war. I think I said everything I want. I have notes all over the book, but again, I cannot say everything. Yeah. Also deals with identity topic, like, who are we really? Are we what we think and what we believe, or are we what we do? And it's interesting because it sounds like, oh, okay, well, obviously this or obviously that, but it's not that obvious, and he's here to show you that it's not that obvious. So who are you really? Are you what you believe in inside of you when no one is looking? Or are you what you just do? Basically actions. Even if you don't believe in them, you do them, but at the end of the day, what makes you? The action or what you think and what you feel? So it's like this little existentialist, topics, but it's beautiful, and I would really recommend you guys go and pick it up and give it a try. I love it so much. I never know what to say exactly, or where to stop, where to draw the line before I start spoiling you. But I will just say, if you're looking for a book, if you want to be introduced to historical fiction, if you want to have a sense, a feeling of how authors, write about history, this is your guy. And I want to just say a word toward all fictional novels, or like not fictional, historical fictions in general. These are valuable literature assets, because these authors, they do research and they speak to people that are still alive, and these are the last people that are still alive from World War II, for example. So you're getting the last bits of alive, direct memory. So when these people are going to die, like, let's say 20 years from now, we're just going to have these. These are the closest thing we have to the testimonials of these people. And I know that there are other recorded documentaries and things that are much more, you know, non-fiction work, but I'm talking to all my fellow book lovers, fiction lovers. We, people that love fiction, we have some, you know, love-hate relationship with reality, and this is why we read fiction, because we always want to be somewhere else, be in the shoes of someone else, understand other perspective. So these books are very valuable for us, and I just love that I'm able to sit in my bed and read about an era that I wish I lived there. Actually, I wish I lived in every single era, because there's something obviously to experience in all of them, but this is the closest thing I can get, and I really don't like history books, like the normal history books, because they're not fun. I'd rather learn history through the experience of fellow humans, written in a beautiful lyrical work of fiction, rather than just like reading facts from a history journal or something. So yeah, if you love fiction and you want to learn more about history, you should start looking into historical fiction, and this could be a really great place to start. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say about this book. Few little points here and there. I hope, you know, I gave you some excitement about that. And actually, I'm starting another book, and oh my god, I just realized that it's basically the same, not the same topic, but around the same thing. I'm starting this collection of essays, and it's called Stories from Behind the Berlin Wall, and it's this reporter that goes and collects stories and testimonials from people that were living on the eastern part of Germany when Germany was, and the Europe or the world was divided into East and West. And so yeah, we're staying here in the same, you know, same kind of mood of let me know what you think. If you've read All the Lights We Cannot See, why would you recommend it? Do you like historical fiction, and what are you currently reading? Let me know what kind of videos you want to see next. Thank you for sticking around. Follow me on Instagram and make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!